Thank you, Lulu, and greetings to our listeners. An unknown number of aid workers are missing after airstrikes hit a hospital in South Sudan near the Ethiopian border. The hospital, run by medical charity Doctors Without Borders in Jonglei State, was hit in an airstrike by the government of South Sudan forces during the night on Tuesday. The South Sudan government is yet to comment. In separate attack, MSF said its health facility in Pierre, also in Jonglei State, was on the same day looted by unknown assailants, leaving it unusable for the local community. The Independent Electoral Commission in South Africa has launched a self-service online portal registration system. It's aimed at enabling citizens to register, update and verify their details remotely to improve accessibility and the integrity of the voter registration process. To date, the portal has recorded over 26,000 newly registered voters, bringing the number of registered voters to a little closer to 28 million. The Electoral Commission's Deputy Head of Communications, David Mandaha, says this is to ramp up efforts to empower particularly the youth to actively participate in elections.
This year alone, the portal has recorded over 26,000 newly registered voters. We encourage all South Africans who are eligible to vote to register online, and those who have already registered to verify their details and update them accordingly. It is important to note that voters in these upcoming elections, voters must register where they live and vote where they've registered. We urge all South Africans to visit registertovote.elections.org.za today.
As the world commemorates the International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation, human rights organization the WHO, the UNFPA and UNICEF have collectively reaffirmed commitment to work with countries to assist and the practice. FGM is carried out in at least 28 countries across Africa. The WHO will participate in a global advocacy webinar for International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation themed Stepping Up the Pace, Strengthening Alliance and Building Movements to End FGM. It says since 2008, close to 7 million girls and women have accessed preventative and protection services. In the last 2 years, close to 12,000 grassroots organizations and community frontline workers have worked to drive for change. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has expressed outrage at the attempted hit of a Madlanga Commission of Inquiry witness. Weandre Pretorius was shot at yesterday morning in the east of Johannesburg. He was implicated by slaying witness D at the commission for his involvement in the alleged torture and killing of a motorist by the Ekurhuleni Metro Police officers in 2022. Last year, witness D, also known as Marius van Merwe, was killed after giving testimony at the commission. The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry is probing allegations of criminality, political interference and corruption in the criminal justice system. Ramaphosa says security will henceforth be tightened for the witnesses.
We are terribly appalled at attempts that are being made by those who have been doing wrong things against witnesses. And we want to tighten security much more so that those witnesses who are giving evidence online should not be easily identified. But it is completely unacceptable. And this is the reason why we set up the Madlanga Commission, so that we can get to the heart of all the shenanigans that are happening with regard to these gangs and these entities that are trying to capture the police.
Lastly, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has arrived in Oman, where he is due to hold talks with U.S. envoys later today. President Trump has been threatening military action unless Iran makes a new deal to limit its nuclear program. The BBC's Caroline Hawley.
It's taken days of difficult and delicate diplomacy to get this to happen at all. There was wrangling over the venue and format of the talks, let alone the substance. They're the first between the US and Iran since last June, before American fighter jets joined Israel in bombing the country's nuclear facilities. And they come after Donald Trump ordered a significant military build-up in the Middle East following Iran's crackdown on protests last month, when thousands of people were killed. The stakes are high not just for Iran, but the whole region, with several Middle Eastern countries involved in trying to calm tensions and avoid a new war.
For any news or stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us at +27 11 714 4459. Channel Africa News, I'm Onele Tsinsi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
And coming up in your sports news this hour, CAF Champions League quarterfinals edge are closer to being decided on match day 5 that kicks off today, while South Africa will be looking for a strong rebound in the HSBC Sevens series in Perth this weekend. I'll tell you more at 12:30.
This is Africa Update, your pulse to the continent. Stories shaping nations and voices driving change. Stay informed, stay connected, right here on Channel Africa, the African Perspective.
Well, it is 12:06 Central African time, and we're coming to you live from Johannesburg in South Africa on Channel Africa on DSTV's audio bouquet channel 802, OpenView channel 628, and on www.channelafrica.co.za, as well as on the SABC Plus app and the Channel Africa app on the Google and Apple Play stores. Join us in conversation on our social media platforms. That's on X, Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube at Channel Africa 1. On Facebook at Channel Africa, you can also send us your comments and voice notes on +27 83 288 6684. Hashtag Africa Update. Today on Hashtag Africa Update, ask the officers of Save the Children in South Sudan's eastern Jonglei state have been looted and burnt down, and a healthcare center has been destroyed. How can governments protect humanitarian aid for citizens? Share your thoughts and your views on all our social media platforms. That's on X, Instagram at Channel Africa 1, on Facebook at Channel Africa. You can also send us your comments and voice notes on +27 83 288 6684. Hashtag Africa Update Us.
The whole population of Africa has been shocked to the depth of its soul.
For 60 years, Channel Africa has been the voice that connects the continent, telling our stories and sharing our vision with the world. This year, we mark 6 decades of broadcast excellence.
60 years of stories, sound, and connection.
6 years of African conversations that matter.
This is 60 years of broadcast excellence.
Broadcast excellence, rooted in Africa's heartbeat and looking boldly into the future. Join Channel Africa as we celebrate 60 years of broadcasting. Still strong, still vibrant, and still giving you the African perspective.
Channel Africa.
Africa Update, your daily dose of African insights with Lulu Gaboo on Channel Africa.
It is 12:08 Central African time, and we're coming to you live from Johannesburg in South Africa. Democratic Alliance Member of Parliament Diane Collar-Barnard has denied the use without authority of classified intelligence information. Collar-Barnard was testifying before South Africa's ad hoc committee investigating allegations of criminal infiltration, corruption and political interference in the justice system. The accusation against Collar-Barnard was made by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. Abongwe Kobokan has more.
Diana Collar-Barnard is the first member of parliament to take the witness stand at the ad hoc committee. She's also serving on the committee. KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi accused Collar-Barnard of sharing classified information, allegations she denies.
Certainly, I just want to reiterate, I could not and would not in any case leak out of a closed committee such as the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence. It did not exist at that time. I was a member of the Police Portfolio Committee, which I thought I would stay on full time, and only at the last minute was told, no, I'll be going to the Joint Standing Committee as well. And I've always endeavoured to do the best that I can here in Parliament. I've treated every head of every division, every National Police Commissioner in exactly the same way. I was as tough on the Ria Piechas or the Jackie Celebis or any of the others, and certainly the Paklanes and co. I was always the person who would raise possibility of corruption.
According to Bernard, the only reason she became unpopular to Mkhwanazi was that she once reported him to the public protector and requested his removal. This was after she allegedly found him on the wrong side of the law.
While everyone knew his expertise in the field was unparalleled, no one was really sure about his administrative abilities, which of course is a major part of such a role. And of course, as ever, with any new appointment, I gave him absolutely the benefit of the doubt. But I fear issues started arising, and I ended up reporting him to the public protector and suggesting that he be removed from that position. I think that I've done a similar job on many people anytime I thought there was ill doing, but I think he took it very personally. That's the only reason I can think of.
Bernard has warned against labeling the entire judicial system problematic.
And we all know the wheels of justice grind so incredibly slowly that finally people are starting to be held to account. So I think that's a positive turn, but to label all the entire judicial system to be a problem, I think is in itself problematic. Pick up the specific issues and deal with them. But to just damn every judge, every magistrate, every body involved, I think was excessive.
She also reiterated that it is impossible for a member of parliament serving in the joint standing on intelligence to use classified information without the permission of intelligence services.
But of course, what you hear there stays there, and for a very good reason. But my years on the Police Portfolio Committee have given me a very clear mandate, to my mind, that I'm there to unearth corruption and reveal it wherever I can. The Joint Standing Committee is a very strange committee in that you take nothing in, you take nothing out. You never stroll out with some classified documents. It's impossible. It cannot happen. Very tightly curated. So what goes there and the information given there stays there, and for very good reasons in many instances.
That's DA Member of Parliament Diane Kola-Barnard ending that report by Abongwe Gobokana in Parliament.
Africa Update with Lulu Gaboo, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time.
We go now to the Madlanga Commission, where there is a continued testimony by Brigadier Macheng, and they are discussing some WhatsApp messages between herself and Kat Matlala and other individuals. Let's take a listen.
We provided him with the prescription to get the medication for you.
Can I comment something on the Ozempic part?
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to say, as I have indicated, that the Ozempic, you can also use it for weight loss. At least I was doing it the normal way. I did not go for BBL. Like others did BBLs.
Brigadier, do you want to explain what the relevance of that is? When you say that at least you were using that and not and didn't go for BBL, what is the relevance of that before this commission?
Yeah, I'm just explaining because I was told that Ozempic will go hand in hand with BBL. And those that I'm seeing at work who did the BBL, they also use Ozempic. So for me, from my boyfriend, I only ask for Ozempic, unlike those that ask for BBL.
I've just been cautioned by Commissioner Kumalo not to mention what BBL stands for.
Yes.
In fairness, Chair, the Brazilian butt lift, for those who don't know, if we're mentioning all of these names, it's mention all of these medical terms. I suppose my difficulty, Brigadier, is that you seem to be wanting to imply something to the Commission, or or I might be reading into what you're saying. Because you're saying, I only asked my boyfriend for Ozempic, while others have asked for BBLs. Can you be direct with this commission, whether you're trying to tell us something or nothing at all, and then we can move past the BBL part of it?
No, I'm just talking about Ozempic and BBL.
Is BBL too expensive, perhaps? So what you are saying is you ask for something that costs only 4,500 rand for 3.
I think if I will have asked him for BBL, he was going to finance it. I don't think he will have a problem in financing the BBL.
But is it more expensive than the Ozempic?
Commissioner, you must budget around 80,000 for BBL.
All right. Now I get the significance of the distinction you are seeking to draw. All right.
Brigadier is chair, right, that the distinction you're seeking to draw is that you are asking for something cheap. Okay, or affordable rather, let me not say cheap.
Yes.
Brigadier, is it not also that you are indirectly responding to an allegation that was made in another forum? Why are you mentioning BBL in the context of this conversation?
I am indirectly responding to that. And the social media post that I saw yesterday when I was reading on Madlanga, when it was said, she's the one with the BBL. So I'm just saying, no, I did not get the BBL. But they know there's someone who got the BBL. Hence those comments. Now they are trying to put the face to this BBL person. So it's not this one.
But you know who it is.
Yes, Ms. Powe.
So can I just, Brigadier, you say they had a pharmacy where they got it. So what you're telling us is, or at least my understanding, is that Mr. Matala and whatever contact he was using here, who says it's pricey at 4,500, they had a particular chemist which supplied them with Ozempic when they wanted it.
I think so, Commissioner.
Okay, and you've agreed that it is a prescription drug.
Yes. And I had a prescription with me.
You had a prescription?
Yes.
You would be able to give Ms. Powe the details of that prescription. And let me tell you why I'm asking. It's because when I read these messages, they raised a concern that here you have a police officer, being you, who is in fact not only looking the other way, but in fact like instigating a civilian to do something that the law doesn't allow, to get prescription medication without a prescription, right? That was my concern on reading these. You have upfront said you had a prescription.
And that is Commissioner Baloyi at the Madlanga Commission, ending that as she was sort of questioning or just speaking to what Brigadier Majeng has spoken to with regards to BBLs and Ozempic and how, there were prescriptions and things like that. Also coming out from her WhatsApp conversations with Vusumuzi Kat Matlala, her boyfriend, as she has stated. It is 12:19 Central African Time, and we're coming to you live from Johannesburg in South Africa on Channel Africa.
Je, una jambo lolote akilini mwako? Je, Una shauku kuhusu masuala muhimu? Na je, una maoni ambayo unataka yasikike? Kweli, hili jukwaa ni la kwako. Piga simu au tuandikie kwenda WhatsApp namba alama ya kujumulisha 2760552594 na tutakupigia simu.
Mtangazaji wa habari zetu za Afrika Kusini mjini Johannesburg.
Hivyo unaweza kuwa mshirika kwenye matangazo yetu. Sio mazungumzo tu, ni fursa yako ya kuchangia maoni yako na kushirikiana na jumuiya ya wasikilizaji wanaotamani mtazamo wako. Tufuate kwenye mitandao ya kijamii. Tembelea tovuti yetu www.channelafrica.co.za na uwe tayari kushiriki na kuchangia maoni yako kwenye Channel Africa. Channel Africa, mtazamo wa Kiafrika.
Africa Update, your daily dose of African insights with Lulu Gaboo on Channel Africa.
It is 21 after 12 Central African time, and we're coming to you live from Johannesburg in South Africa. The offices of Save the Children in South Sudan's eastern Jonglei state have been looted and burnt down, and a healthcare center has been destroyed. Escalating violence has displaced over 235,000 people. To tell us more about the situation in South Sudan, we are now joined on the line by Chris Nyamandi, a country director for Save the Children in South Sudan. Chris, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and good afternoon to the listeners.
Chris, I mean, this is devastating when you just think about it and what the people of South Sudan have been going through for a number of years. And now this, where, it's a case of a healthcare center being destroyed. Now there are, what other facilities are there for the people who are still there to get assistance medically and just, as Save the Children? What does this mean going forward?
Yeah, so thanks a lot for that. I think this has been a very difficult situation here in South Sudan. The locations that we are talking to are places where the entire health system is provided by international and national non-governmental organizations. These are places where people have been running away from conflict for a long time. There's been flooding, and so health facilities have been attacked, have been bombed, burned down. So really difficult situation for children and mothers who are trying to fend for their children. So we are really appalled by the situation. And right now our focus is on trying to stabilize this situation and giving assistance to our staff who have also been displaced because of the ongoing fighting.
We understand that all operations have been suspended. How do you then start? Because it's basically going back to the starting point and the waiting periods of getting more supplies, especially just to think that once you do get more supplies, are they going to be looted again? What is the plan of action going forward?
Yeah, so this is our concern. Our concern is that the health system generally has always been fragile. We depend upon the dry season to pre-position stocks. We have been investing in trying to build new facilities, rehabilitating facilities. So when those investments are destroyed, it really becomes difficult, especially in this environment where we have to talk to our donors to get additional funding. So to go back to the same donors to get funding will really be difficult. This is why it is appalling in this environment that we have to start again afresh. But look, we are talking about the lives of children, the lives of women who have done nothing wrong except to be born in these areas, and who depend upon the work that our aid workers, not just for Save the Children, but from other organizations, also do. And therefore, we are committed to continue to work in those locations, but we can only do so when both parties to the conflict can assure us that our staff are safe, our assets are safe, and we can do our work without fear of repercussions.
With all of this that's happened, we understand that 4 of your vehicles were seized last week. Tell us about this and why you are not getting support or assistance when it comes to both parties to this conflict.
We have had assurances that those vehicles were going to be returned because they were not seized by an unorganized criminal group. They were seized by an organized armed group. So our conversations with the authorities were pointed to the possibility of those vehicles being returned. But now that the entire town has been burned down and our offices and health facilities have been destroyed, we are unsure whether we will be able to recover those vehicles. Look, the vehicles that we are talking about are vehicles that we're using as ambulances to transport patients from one location to another. We had a tractor that we were using to ferry supplies. As you know, in these locations, especially during rain season, the infrastructure is so undeveloped that we can't move from one location to another unless if we have a tractor, for example. We're talking about vehicles that we were using to transport doctors and nurses to go from village to carry out vaccinations and provide health assistance to communities. So our work was already paralyzed by those assets being seized. We hope that we'll be able to recover them, but it's discouraging at this moment that, despite all the assurances that we've received, that our assets were being targeted in this way.
Mm-hmm. Now, Chris, apart from what you're facing now with the looting and the burning and destroying of healthcare centers, it seems that the violence is also exacerbating a cholera outbreak. Could your suspending operations also add to this? And is there any way to help the people?
Yeah, so the cholera outbreak has been recorded in counties that are very close to where the violence is happening right now. And we believe that if the situation continues to be unchecked, there is going to be further deterioration and the number of cases are going to increase, which is difficult, especially for children. As you know, in South Sudan generally, over 2 million children are already malnourished. They are not eating enough and they are stunted and they are losing weight because of a lack of food. And so if you add the dimension of a cholera outbreak on top of that, it means that some children are going to die because of the complexity of having to deal with malnutrition as well as an infection. So it's grim. We hope that the violence subsides. I mean, we know that regional players are calling for an end to violence and a return to dialogue. We hope that happens so that both the government and international humanitarian organizations can provide assistance. Otherwise, if we are not able to do that, there's going to be a worsening of the outbreak. And we know for sure that the cholera outbreak right now has killed some people. And we are going to see more people dying needlessly because of a lack of assistance.
Médecins Sans Frontières have reported that a number of aid workers are missing after a hospital they run was hit by airstrikes. What information do you have about that?
So this is appalling, and this is not the first time that airstrikes have been hitting medical facilities. I started working in the humanitarian field in 1998, and I recall that in those years, spaces like hospitals, aid workers convoys, and aid workers facilities were considered sacrosanct. And unfortunately now in 2026, we see an erosion of humanitarian space, including targeting of aid workers. And it's appalling. We know that other NGOs, including MSF, have struggled with this issue. we as Save the Children, we provide basic medical assistance, and we depend upon MSF to refer children with complicated cases and people with complicated cases, including war injuries, to MSF hospitals. So when those hospitals are damaged, it actually harms the entire health system that we've been trying to build and assist. And so it's a really difficult situation that civilians in South Sudan are facing.
Chris, we have run out of time, but I have to ask, you say you've been working in the humanitarian, sector, so for lack of a better word, since 1998. And I can imagine on the mental side of things, what it does to aid workers who are willing to give themselves off to be on the ground in these volatile regions, and also having to go through incidences where their lives are put at risk. And how do you work around this as individuals and as aid workers?
So right now I have 20 staff members we have been displaced from a town where they were providing assistance, and they are now in villages that are around that town together with their families. We've been able to talk to them. They are, of course, distressed about losing everything, including their homes and their private properties. It's unfortunately the situation of aid workers. Save the Children provides mental health support to all our staff, and we are trying to provide not just mental health support but also food and medicines to them. But again, it's not easy when there is no access to those locations. So really, it is what it is. I'm grateful that our organization stands with our aid workers. This is easy for us.
Chris, thank you for making time for us, and all the best. Thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Thank you so much, Lulu.
That's Chris Nyamandi, Country Director for Save the Children in South Sudan, joining us on the line. It is 12:32 Central African Time, and our news headlines up next.
SABC News. Headlines. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Lulu. The officers of Save the Children in South Sudan's eastern Jonglei state have been looted and burnt down, and a healthcare center has been destroyed. This is escalated violence that has placed over 235,000 people. The Independent Electoral Commission in South Africa has launched a self-service online portal registration system. It is aimed at enabling citizens to register, update and verify their details remotely to improve accessibility and the integrity of the voter registration process. And an explosion ripped through a Shiite Muslim mosque in Pakistan's capital city of Islamabad today, killing several worshippers. Channel Africa News, I am Onele Ntsintsi.
SABC News. Headlines. The African Perspective. Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
It's a very good afternoon from the sports desk. I am Mosibu Dimakura with your latest sports news at the Sawa. So with just 2 rounds of fixtures remaining just before the quarter-finalists of this season's Total Energies CAF Champions League are decided, several clubs could officially secure their places in the last 8 or find their hopes hanging by a thread. The competition's format sees the top 2 teams from each group advance to the knockout rounds, making every point quite vital at this stage. After a match day 4 is played, the qualification to the knockout stages of Africa's Premier Club competition is taking shape in all of the 4 fiercely contested groups. So Group A, by the way, has Pyramids FC, who currently sit at the top of the log with 10 points, of course, the defending champions, followed by RS Bakan on 7, Power Dynamos on 4, and Rivers United of Nigeria rooted at the bottom of the table with 1 point at trail, but can also influence the outcomes. Group B, Al Ali, lead by 8 points. AS FAR as well as Young Africans both have 5 points, while JS Kabali remains on 2 points, bottom of that group. While Group C has Al Hilal topping Group 8, with 8 points, with Mamelodi Sundowns on 5. MC Alger as well as Saint Elulupopo are tied on 4 points, setting up a tight fight for qualification to the knockout stages. Group D, meanwhile, Stade Milan lead by 8 points. Esperance de Tunis in second on 6 points, followed by Petro de Luanda and Simba SC on 5 points. Now, this weekend's fixtures starting today will see Group C clash between the top table toppers, that is Al Hilal as well as MC Alger. That could prove decisive for Al Hilal, who lead the pack at the moment. In Saturday's Group A tie, reigning champions Pyramids FC could see themselves taking a giant step towards the quarterfinals with a positive result and remain on course to defending their maiden title, while RS Bagan look to stay firmly in contention. Group B's action sees record holders Al Ali aiming to consolidate their lead as AS FAR as well as Young Africans both push for a strong showing to strengthen their top 2 hopes, while Group D duels will feature key clashes that then could shuffle the top 2 spots, keeping the race open in the last 2 rounds. Stade Milan look now well on course to securing a quarter-final spot for the first time since 2015, but must overcome a steep mountain in the form of former Africans Espérance Sportive de Tunis of Tunisia. On to some cricket news now. Sri Lanka Cricket have formally requested the Pakistan Cricket Board to reconsider their boycott of the future India match. Now, the Sri Lankan Cricket Board believes boycotting the match could adversely affect the tourism sector. In an official letter, Sri Lanka Cricket cited Sri Lankan media to state that the announcement of the boycott is already affecting the Sri Lanka Tourism Department, as many fans have now already begun to cancel hotel bookings anticipating the match to take place. The letter also further states that all arrangements pertaining to the match between Pakistan as well as India have been completed in advance. Demand for tickets for that match is at its peak. The PCB authorities, as of course the Pakistan Cricket Board, have admitted that sentiments voiced by the Sri Lankan Cricket Board, but stressed that the decision rested in the hands of the government policy. On to this now. After a successful 5th season, the Basketball Africa League returns next month, and the 6th season will tip off at the Sunbet Arena in South Africa's capital city, Pretoria, on the 27th of March. BAL Africa President Amadou Garofo says it was a no-brainer that they would return to South Africa this year following a successful tournament held in the country over the past few years. The BAL 6th season will culminate with finals at the BK Arena in Kigali, Rwanda, playing on the 31st of May. Force says South Africa has proven that it's serious about growing the market of basketball.
Returning to South Africa and Morocco and Rwanda also speaks to the growing sporting cultures in these countries. We want to deepen our presence and engagement. For the 3rd year in a row, we'll be playing in South Africa, where we've enjoyed tremendous fan interest, and also a beautiful arena, the world-class infrastructure in Sunbet. Obviously, our finals have been held almost every season since the beginning. In 2021, in Rwanda, we went last year to South Africa for the first time that the finals were played outside.
Now, this year, the BAL will be focused on 3 conferences in Pretoria, Kigali, as well as Rabat in Morocco, with 12 teams from 12 African countries playing 42 games up to the final. Force says the new format is all about looking at the bigger picture.
Regarding the formats changing, we said, right, I think the goal is to really perfect the model. I think we started from a single site in 2021, and then we went to the 3 sites, from 2022 and 2023. And, obviously, the goal being always to expand the footprint. I think, these 3 conferences is going to, again, give us another opportunity to deepen our, engagement in a place like South Africa.
And that concludes your sports news this hour. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, do remember to send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11714 4459. I'm back with more sports news in the next hour. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Musibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
We're now just 3 days away from SABC2 stepping into its new era, and you can really feel the build-up. This relaunch is all about bringing South Africans together through shared stories, familiar faces, and the shows that spark a real conversation. One show to look out for is Pimville, SABC2's new telenovela set in Soweto. It's packed with love, ambition, betrayal, and community drama with a heavyweight local cast and storylines that hit close to home. The kind of show where if you miss an episode, you're already behind. Now, 3 days to go. The new era of SABC2 is almost here.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, Lulu. Good afternoon. The expiry date for the Lesotho's tariff-free access to the U.S. garments market has been extended to 31st of December 2026. Lesotho's Trade Minister Mokgethi Shidile has noted that the one-year extension of the African Growth and Opportunity Act AGOA is insufficient for long-term business stability, as Lesotho relies heavily on the U.S. market for its exports, which significantly contribute to its GDP. The executive order was signed into law by U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday. French oil major Total Energies has required a 42.5% operated interest in Namibia's Pearl 104 exploration license, enhancing its portfolio in the region. This license is located north of the Venus development and the Mopani mega discovery, which holds over 10 billion barrels of oil. Total Energies aims to be the first to produce oil in Namibia by the decade's end, with plans for a final investment decision on Venus this year, despite rising costs. 3 exploration wells will be drilled at Mopani to assess its resources. The UAE-based AI-powered space tech company Space42 has announced the commercial rollout of its next-generation mobile communications satellite Turaya 4 in South Africa. This marks the company's first operational presence in the country and a major step in expanding secure, reliable satellite connectivity to one of Africa's most dynamic digital market. Space42 Chief Commercial Officer Suleiman Al-Ali.
Economy in South Africa is one of the fastest growing economy in the African continent, and this is why we are choosing South Africa to be the hub of our launch of the new services that is coming from Thuraya and Space42 in general. We are launching not only the Thuraya mobility capabilities, but we are launching also other services like Earth observation and geospatial capabilities that is empowered with AI. Now we are bringing something unique to the market here in South Africa, where the connectivity will be more available and more affordable.
The South African rand showed a 0.6% increase against the dollar in early trade, reaching 16.2175 amid market volatility as the dollar approached its strongest week since November. It is noted that the rand is experiencing resistance and has shifted from being a strong performer to a weaker one, reflecting the currency's inherent volatility as an emerging market asset. Additionally, South Africa's net foreign reserves increased to $74.88 billion in January. Investors are anticipating upcoming mining and manufacturing output figures for insights into the economy, while the Johannesburg Stock Exchange Top 40 index was down 0.2% and the benchmark government bond yield rose slightly to 8.095%. World's largest automaker Toyota Motor has raised its full-year operating profit forecast as it expects a weak yen and cost reduction efforts to lift its results. The world's biggest automaker now expects operating profit of $24.26 billion for the year to end of March, up 11.8% from its previous outlook of $21.7 billion. Meanwhile, the company has also announced that its chief executive, Koji Sato, will step down after just 3 years at the helm to be replaced by Chief Financial Officer Kenta Kon. Now let's have a look at financial indicators. $1 in Nigeria is 1,000 naira 367, Botswana 13.07, Kenya the dollar is 128 shilling 22, Zambia 18 kwacha 97. BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil, 5 real 24, in Russia 76 rubles 46, India 90 rupee 32, China 6 yuan 93, South Africa 16 rand 16 cents. $1 is 73 pence to the British pound, 84 to the euro. Commodities, gold is trading at $4,826, platinum at $1,966 per ounce, the price of Brent crude oil at $67.88 a barrel. That's all for now. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za, or you can call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Chanduko Ligege.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Africa Update, your daily dose of African insights with Lulu Gaboo on Channel Africa.
February is known as the month of love, and to express this in its fullest, the Woodlands Mall are ringing the wedding bells with an ex-verloof wedding exhibition. The exhibition, hosted by Braids Gids and Wedding Guide, is taking over the mall for 2 days of inspiration, ideas and indulgence. And to tell us more, we are joined on the line by the owner and editor of Braids Gid and Wedding Guide. That's Mariet van Niekerk. Mariet, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
It's a privilege to speak to you.
Now, tell us more about this exhibition and Ex-Verloof.
Lulu, we are very excited. Like you said, it's the Ex-Verloof exhibition hosted by Bruidsgids, and it's at Woodlands in Pretoria East in Pretoria. And it's this weekend, the 7th and 8th of February, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I know there's not a lot of things that's free these days, but the entry is actually free. And there will be more than 80 exhibitors, which is quite a lot. And the first 300 brides will get a free goodie bag, sashes, and Krispy Kreme donuts. And the first bride on the Saturday, as well as the first bride on Sunday, will win a mug and bean cake for the kitchen tea. So I'm just going to mention a few things that they can expect. You will hear it's going to be an awesome event. We are also going to hide 5 of our very popular Bruidsgids journals randomly in goodie bags. There will also be many prizes up for grabs. As usual, we will be hosting our scatterjacht competition, where brides-to-be must visit each exhibitor to collect their signature. And once they've completed the scatterjacht, they will be entered into a lucky draw to stand a chance of winning flowers and decor for their wedding, and it's worth 15,000 rand. So that's quite exciting. We are very excited about that. We do that every time. And then we also will be running several Instagram competitions where brides can stand a chance to win Krispy Kreme donuts for their wedding day. They can win a Sober Man voucher worth 5,000 rand. Mug and Bean will also be giving away 10 coffee subscriptions, while Laser Boutique will be offering free test batches and skin consultations for brides-to-be. And they'll also be running a competition where one lucky winner can walk away with a 4,000 rand voucher. So as you can hear, there's a lot of competition. There will be a lot of discounts. And then if we get to the entertainment, there will be live music in the piazza throughout the event. So people can sit at the restaurants and enjoy the music. And then we also have Painted Leaves that will be doing live painting for us. And Crown Spa will spoil the brides-to-be with complimentary 10-minute hand and neck massages. And for the men, because we won't leave them out, Silver Man will offer free haircuts. And then Spur will also have a lunch special for only 99.90 for the bride and as well as the exhibitors. And something new that we are very excited about is our daily creative workshops. This is very exciting. There will be actually lipstick making workshop hosted by Lip Lab, a watercolor workshop by Dorcas, and a bouquet making workshop by Wildflower Wonders. Each class only costs 200 Rand, and there's still tickets available on Quicket, and they can also find the link on our Bruidsgids bio on our Instagram. And as you can hear, Lulu, this is truly, it's not an event to be missed. And I want to encourage each and every bride to be out there, to come this weekend to Hoodlands Mall, to just come and see all the exhibitors and start planning their wedding day. It will be really just a fun and eventful day, and it just can't be missed.
Who shouldn't come this weekend?
Lulu, absolutely everyone must come. Like, there's entertainment, like you can hear. There's something for the ladies. There's something for the men. Mom can come with grandma. There's lovely shops at Woodlands Mall as well, and there's amazing restaurants. So there's truly something. They can even come to the movies afterwards. They can maybe do the exhibition and then go to the movies, or just go and have some dinner or so. So I don't think anyone should stay at home this weekend.
Now, just for interest's sake, especially if the brides are listening and wanting to come through, when they go through to all the exhibitors to get their signatures, is it a requirement for them to also try on the dresses?
Lulu, unfortunately, they can't fit any dresses there. So usually what they do, they have a look. There is dresses there that they can have a look at. And then usually they make an appointment with a specific designer. And then afterwards they go to the designer to fit different dresses.
It sounds like it's going to be a very exciting and interesting event, and I can just imagine all the giddy brides and their families being there, especially with mothers tagging along. Well, Marit, all the best, and thank you so much for joining us on Africa Update. That was the owner and editor of Bruidsgids and wedding guide, Marit van Niekerk, joining us on the line. It is 12:52 Central African time, and we're coming to you live from Johannesburg in South Africa.
Conversations are happening, and Channel Africa is at the heart of them. We tell the African story with clarity, pride, and purpose, reaching audiences that matter to your brand. Partner with us and connect your business with listeners across borders in multiple languages and markets. For partnership opportunities, sponsorship, or sales, email us at partnership@channelafrica.co.za. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa Update with Lulu Gaboo, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time.
Well, it's a happy Friday to Lulu Gaboo of the Upside team. How are you today, and what's happening?
I'm fantastic, Lulu Gaboo. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Here's what's coming up on the Upside this afternoon. We have our DJ mix, as we do every single Friday. Our DJ this afternoon, his real name is George Tendai, but on stage he goes as DJ G, all the way from Zimbabwe. He will be joining us this afternoon to provide us with our DJ mix. Then we get into conversation about a program in the Eastern Cape that has achieved 84% success rate in tackling underage drinking. The program is called #Not or No to Under 18 Peer-to-Peer program. So we'll be getting into conversation about that and the success thereof and how they're going to be rolling it out to different parts of South Africa. So those are all the fun conversations coming up on the Upside, and as always, beautiful music.
Well, it's definitely something to look forward to on the Upside from the top of the hour at 1 o'clock. It's with Tebogo Kuleni and Matseko Musito. We continue on Africa Update. Before we go, continue with us on our social media platforms. That's on X, Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube at Channel Africa 1, on Facebook at Channel Africa. You can also send us your comments and voice notes on +27 288 83-288-6684. And today on hashtag Africa Updates, ask the offices of Save the Children in South Sudan's eastern Jonglei state have been looted and burnt down, and a healthcare center has been destroyed. We want to know, how can governments protect humanitarian aid for citizens? Share your thoughts and your views on all our social media platforms. That's on X, Instagram at Channel Africa 1, on Facebook at Channel Africa. You can also send us your comments and voice notes on +2783 288 6684. Hashtag Africa Update Us.
Keep Africa in your hands. Connect to our website for all your news, sports, and cultural updates. channelafrica.co.za.
Well, today is International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation, that's FGM. Observed annually on February the 6th, this day hopes to raise awareness about the harmful practice of FGM, which is a violation of human rights and has serious health consequences for girls and women worldwide. Tutongombedi compiled this report.
Marked annually on the 6th of February, the International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation, FGM, highlights the need for sustained commitment and investment to eliminate FGM, with about 230 million survivors globally and 4 million more affected annually. The theme for 2026 is Towards 2030, No End to FGM Without Sustained Commitment and Investment, as it raises the urgency of the issue and the importance of collective action to protect the rights of women and girls. This requires a combined effort of political leadership, strong systems, financial resources, community action, evidence and data, and platforms that include and act on girls and survivors' voices. By strengthening partnerships, scaling effective solutions, and reinforcing a coordinated movement so as to safeguard progress and accelerate action until FGM is eliminated everywhere. According to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, FGM refers to all procedures involving partial or total genitalia or other injury to the female genital organs for non-medical reasons. While the movement to end FGM continues to protect every woman and girl, core challenges remain. Across regions, shrinking resources are weakening protection efforts and risking the reversal of hard-won gains made over the past decades. Local women and youth-led organizations, including community-based organizations, are facing increasing funding uncertainty. Despite their central role in shifting social and gender norms and providing services and key support to girls, local women and youth-led organizations, including community-based organizations, are facing increasing funding uncertainty despite their central role in shifting social and gender norms and providing services and key support to girls. Progress is also challenged by the growing pushback against gender equality and child rights. For Channel Africa News, I am Tutongobeni in Johannesburg.
Africa Update on Channel Africa.
Zilipendwa na Abedi Jean de la Croix.
Leo tujadili kuhusu chipukizi wanaoimba nyimbo za wasanii wengine. Unadhani hili linatokana na nini, Omari?
Nadhani kweli kwamba tukizama muziki ya sasa, hasa wasanii ambao ni chipukizi, kwa kweli kwamba yani karibu kutoka muziki wao wenyewe, lakini wanakuwa wanataka kuhubiria muziki ya zamani, hizo muziki ya wengine ambao sasa ni hivyo.
Wengine wanadai kufanya hivyo ni kupromote vipaji vyao haraka ili waweze kujulikana. Je, yawezekana kukawa na ukweli wowote au ndio kukosa kabisa kipaji cha kuandika mistari?
Ndio, unaona kwamba msanii anapoazimia kwamba kuchukua wimbo mwingine wa msanii mwingine na kurudia mara mbili sivyo, haionyeshi kwamba yani ndio wanaanza kazi ya muziki aizani, lakini ukiangalia kabisa asilimia kubwa utakuja kuona kwamba wanakosa ile mawazo ya kutunga muziki.
Zilipendwa kila Jumamosi kuanzia saa 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati hadi saa 1 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
Your window to the continent and beyond. Africa Update. Only on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Join us in conversation on our social media platforms. That's on X, Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube at Channel Africa 1. On Facebook at Channel Africa, you can also send us your comments and voice notes on +27 83 288 6684 at hashtag Africa Update. We are on DSTV's audio bouquet channel 802, OpenView channel 628, and on www.channelafrica.co.za, as well as on the SABC Plus app and the Channel Africa app, available on the Apple and Google Play stores. And that's how we wrap Africa Update today and for the week. It's been a great one. Continue with us on all our social media platforms, and do keep safe over the weekend. Let's do this again on Monday. Bye-bye.
Well, happy Friday, happy Friday. A big thank you to Lulu Gaboo and team. Join them again on Monday, same time, same place. It's now time for The Upside from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Central African time. But first, let's get the latest news.
SABC News.